from stories across the world to stories here at home. This is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Nitya Delivera.
I'm moving head Tiarachi, and here are today's headlines. AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine has been given to 160,000 people. Mihindu Nivahana project commences. 2,000 houses will be built this year. A request from Daraniyagala school students brings about results in less than 24 hours. The president emphasizes that it is the responsibility of authorities to successfully implement the solutions given to cultivate the lands of farmers. A successful eardrum transplant performed at a government hospital. More than 150 are missing following a collapse of a glacier in India. Now on to those and more stories in detail. On today's top story, the epidemiology unit says that AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine has already been administered to more than 160,000 people in the country under the COVID-19 inoculation program. The AstraZeneca vaccination was initiated on January 29th. Today is the 10th day. A total of 3,838 persons received the vaccine yesterday. The number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country has increased up to 63,401. Accordingly, percentage of fully recovered COVID-19 patients in the country is at 91.97%. Meanwhile, 7.52% COVID-19 patients are receiving treatment at present, and this amounts to 5,186 patients. 73 patients under treatment at COVID-19 treatment centers in Polonnaruwa
whistleblower doctor who first sounded the alarm on the outbreak before the disease received official recognition. Now, Dr. Li Wenliang, an ophthalmologist at a hospital in the city, became one of the most visible figures in the early days of the outbreak in Wuhan when he tried to sound the alarm on the appearance of the novel coronavirus.
It has been a year since Li Wenliang, the whistleblower doctor who first warned about the COVID-19 outbreak, died from the virus. Li was an ophthalmologist at a hospital in the city who tried to sound the alarm about the virus's appearance, but was reprimanded by authorities for, quote, spreading rumors. His death from COVID-19 on February 7 last year led to an outpouring of public mourning and rare expressions of anger online. Wuhan residents like 24-year-old Li Pan remember the doctor's action.
He must have considered the impacts would be huge, but he still raised the alarm to the public.
Another resident, Ji Penghui, said he heard about Li's warning in the early days and rushed to stock up on masks before the officials spoke openly about the virus. He added that the government made mistakes in the early stages, but believed it has handled the pandemic well since. Several days after Li's death, renowned epidemiologist Zhong Nanshan shed tears for Li in an interview with Reuters.
He's the hero of China.
But when President Xi Jinping honored the heroes who fought against the virus in September last year, there was no mention of Li's contribution. Meanwhile, a World Health Organization team is currently in Wuhan researching the early stages of the outbreak. Team member Dominic Doyer told Reuters on Friday that the team is preparing to present its findings. The origins of the virus have become highly politicized, and some Chinese diplomats and state media have thrown support behind theories that the virus potentially originated in another country.
Now, in the meantime, moving on to USA, for many older Americans and adult children who look after them, securing an appointment to obtain the COVID-19 vaccine has been anything but easy. From confusing registration websites and vaccine shortages to contradictory information from the government and long-shot lotteries, they fear it could be months before they are inoculated.
I call it an impossible maze.
It's just been really haphazard.
It just shouldn't be this hard.
Timothy Callahan and his sister Katie Callahan Durkin have learned that just because their 88-year-old mother is one of America's elderly at the front of the line for the COVID-19 vaccine, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy for her to get it. Family members across the country are finding the process of getting their elderly loved ones signed up for the vaccination too complex due to a patchwork of state-by-state, city-by-city protocols. It's been so difficult to get an appointment that some, like Naomi Barry Perez, who's trying to get her 75-year-old mother vaccinated, are comparing it to scoring a hard-to-get ticket for the Broadway smash Hamilton before the health crisis forced it to go dark.
Couldn't find the right button until about 6:05, and at that point, I was number 13,000 in line. So 5 minutes after it opened, and I thought to myself, this is worse than Hamilton.
But not everyone sees the humor in it all. With the U.S. death toll topping 440,000 and inoculation bottlenecks popping up across the country, some are left to worry as they scramble to get their parents a vaccination spot.
Soonest appointment I could get for her was April 10th in Binghamton, New York, which is a 4-hour drive.
In Washington, D.C., volunteers at Foggy Bottom West End Village help by driving the elderly to their vaccination appointments. But as Executive Director Denise Snyder has learned, an appointment isn't always an appointment.
That site started sending out messages to the folks who'd signed up saying, we don't have as many doses as we thought we did, so we have to cancel your appointment.
Despite the setbacks, 79-year-old Janet Farbstein is heading in for her second vaccination appointment and looking forward to life getting back to normal one day soon.
Meanwhile, moving back into local stories, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that Mihindu Nivahana project will provide shelter to parents of Buddhist monks. The Prime Minister mentioned this while attending the inauguration ceremony of Mihindu Nivahana project, which took place today at Siambaladuwa Buddhadhamma Historic Temple. The project is implemented on a concept of Prime Minister in recognition of parents who offered their children to the Buddha Sasana. The project is implemented by Housing Development Authority and the Department of Buddhist Affairs. 2,000 houses are scheduled to be built at a cost of 1,200 million rupees during this year. The foundation stone was laid for the house that will be built on the behalf of parents of DM Silvathi and DM Kiribanda of the Venerable Buddhama Kosala and Venerable Theras of the Heavenvara village. The foundation stone was laid with the participation of Ministers Sudhindra Rajapaksa and Indika Anuruddha. The Prime Minister handed over a scroll of Mihindu Nivahana project to the Mahasnaika of the temple. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that previous good governments was only the revenge from them.
ඒ සංවර්ධන කටයුතු නැවත ආරම්භ කරා. ඒ වගේම තමුන්නාන්සේලාගේ ජල ප්‍රශ්නයත් අපි විසඳනවා. මහින්දෝදේ විද්‍යාගාරවල බෝඩ් ගලවලා විසිකලා විතරක් නෙවෙයි. දරුවන් වෙනුවෙන් තිබුණ ව්‍යාපෘතිය නතර.
That is why the development land and in the remote areas was sought. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the development activities were commenced again after coming into power. He assured to solve their water problem. The Prime Minister said that not only name boards of Mahindodaya laboratories were removed, they stopped the projects and implemented on behalf of students. He said that the name was used to recall the memory of Mihindu Maha Thera, who led a foundation for massive civilization. The Prime Minister said that the previous government took revenge from Buddha Sasana as well. Elephant taking part in Dalda procession in Kandy was limited. An elephant boat through Perahara was sent to the FCID. The charity box of Dabula Raja Mahaviharya was sealed. The clause of the constitution giving priority to Buddhism was tried to be changed. The Buddhist monks were identified as persons in yellow robes. The Good Governance government tried to establish all religions concept by sending Buddhist monks to prisons. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said they have changed all that now. He said that the government has implemented a housing project to provide shelter for the heads of parents of Buddhist monks. 1,200 million rupees has been allocated to build houses for parents of Buddhist monks. He said the government does not consider what is given to Buddhist monks as an expenditure cost. He said that they consider it an investment for the future of the country. He pointed out it has become extremely difficult for offering a child to Buddha Sasana when there are few children in a family today. The Prime Minister said that he believed the parents who offered their children to Buddha Sasana were under such circumstances should be honoured. He said the present government gives ownership of the country to the people. He said that it should be remembered by Buddhist monks as well as people who love the country. Despite difficulties faced by the government, brave decisions have been taken on behalf of independence of the country. Therefore, he requests Buddhist monks, leaders who love the country and people who stand by the government, and the Prime Minister said that they should be able to implement decisions taken for the independence of the country with support and understanding of people.
අපේ රටේ ස්වාධීනත්වය ආරක්ෂා කරන්න දැවන්ත තීන්දුව අරගෙන තියෙන කණ්ඩායම. ඔබගේ සහයෝගය, ඔබගේ අවබෝධය තිබුණොත් විතරයි ඒවා අපිට ඉදිරියට ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ.
දරුවන් පිදූ බොහෝ මව්වරුන්ද
අගමැතිතුමනි අපිට දැවෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. මේ වනජීවි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. අපේ ගෙවල් ස්ථීර පදිංචි ගෙවල් 38ක් එහාට දාලා ප්‍රධාන කාපට් එකෙන් තමයි මායිමේ දණ්ඩ ගහගෙන යන්නේ. ගහලා ඉවරයි. මිනින්දෝරු 20ක් විතර ඇවිත් වාහන ඉස්සලා ගෙයක් අරගෙන දැන් අපේ ගමේ පදිංචිලා මේ වැඩ කටයුතු කරනවා. බදුළු වල. බදුළු වල. අගමැතිතුමනි අපිට මේකට ඔබතුමා පුළුවන් තරම් මෙන්න මේක විසඳුමක් දෙන්න. අපි ආපහු විනාශ කරමු. අගමැතිතුමනි අපේ දැවෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් අපේ විසඳලා දෙන්න ඔබතුමාගෙන් තමයි අපි ඉල්ලන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඔයාලට ගෙවල් ඇප්ලිකේෂන් කරන්න.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed officials to take immediate steps to renovate the historic Hindagala cave temple. The Secretary to the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Professor Kapila Gunawardena, has been instructed to do so considering the recent newspaper article highlighting the destruction caused to the cave temple. The trustee of the temple has told the newspaper that the relevant authorities should pay their attention about the arts that are being destroyed in the Hindagala cave temple. Renovations are scheduled to be implemented according to recommendations given by the Department of Archaeology and Central Cultural Fund. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that it is the responsibility of officials implementing properly solution given through an advice, law and circular in connection with cultivation of lands of farming community. The president emphasized this during a Grama Samanga Pilasandara program yesterday at Dharaniyagala in Kegal. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that he went to
ගියාම එතන පුරාණ විහාරයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ විහාරේ එක ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ නමයි ඉන්නේ. ඒ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේට කතා කරනකොට කිව්වා මහත්තයෝ මේ අපේ ගම්මුන්ගේ පිළිකන්නේ මේ වන රක්ෂණයෙන් ඇවිල්ලා ගල් දාලා තියෙනවා. මේක මේ කවුරුවත් සංවිධානය කරලා කියපු දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. මේක මේ ප්‍රශ්නය මම
The president has said that he went to Migasvava Namalpur area for irrigation prosperity program. He said that Buddhist monks at the historic temple told him that forest cultivation officers were laying stones behind their houses of villagers and marking them. He said that the problem was prevailing in all areas he visited. Therefore, common solution was given as a president. Instructions were given to secretaries of the Ministries of Land, Forest Conservation and Wildlife. The president said that decision was given to the land that had been cultivated traditionally. He said if individuals are clearing forests using that decision, it should be stopped. Officials have the right to stop if a solution that is being given on the behalf of innocent people being misused. He said that proper action should be taken against those activities. The president pointed out that the needs of innocent people could not be achieved if actions were not taken against them. The president emphasized that those advice and decisions should be properly carried out. Officials should be implementing them by looking at problems practically. Space should not be given to clear forests using such activities. It is essential to educate those who are misusing concessions given to the certain matters.
යම්කිසි උපදෙස් නිසියාකාරව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න ඕන. ඒ උපදේශක් නීතියක් එහෙම නැත්නම් චක්‍ර ලේඛනයක් යවුවම ඒක හරියාකාරව ක්‍රියා කරන ඒක උපයෝගී කරගෙන වැරදි වැඩ කරනවා නම් ඒ අයටත් ඒක අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේක තමයි නිලධාරීන්ගේ යුතුයකම. ඒක හින්දා තමයි නිලධාරීන් ජනතාව අතරට ගිහිල්ලා ප්‍රායෝගිකව බලලා ඒවා ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නට ඕන. ඒවා දඩමීමා කරගෙන කැලෑවක් සුද්ධ කරන්න බෑනේ. ඉතින් එහෙම වුණාම මේකේ වැරදි අය විරුද්ධවාදී මේවයින් ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්නවා. ඒකත් මතක තියාගන්නට ඕන. යම් කිසි දෙයකට සහනයක් දුන්නම ඒක වැරදියට පාවිච්චි කරන අය ඉන්නවනේ ඒවා ගවන දැනුවත් කරන්නට ඕන.
Now, renovations to the playground of Malibo, the Port Denikanda school, has commenced in less than 24 hours after the president attended the Gama Samagapili Sandra program at Dharaniyagala, Malibo, the Dikalakanda Primary School. The playground is being renovated by the army on a request made by a student. The students requested to renovate the playground, which had a track of 200 meters. The president said that by tomorrow, necessary steps would be taken. Dereniagala Maliboda Poddenikanda School nurtures 2 primary schools and 7 junior schools. Apart from providing sporting activity for the students after renovations to the playground, it will provide opportunities for community activities for 1,700 families at Maliboda Dikkalakanda, Magala, Poddenikanda, Yativala and Pahanda Vatta Grama Seva divisions. People in the area have thanked the President and all others who have taken steps to speedily rectify the shortcomings in the area. Now, in the meantime, the Colombo District Conference of the pilot project of Public Security Committees for a Society Without Fear and Suspicion took place. It was held under the patronage of Minister of Public Security, retired Rear Admiral Dr. Sarath Veerasekara. The aim is to build a disciplined society, a productive citizen in a prosperous country and a happy family. Empowering public security communities and educating chairmen of the committees, which are based on community police concepts for a society without fear and suspicion, took place today at the Maragama Youth Council Hall. Ministry Secretary Major General Jagat Alves, Inspector General of Police C.D. Vikramaratne and public representatives were present at the occasion. Bicycles were handed over to the civil defence officials and community police officers in the Western Province to engage in duty at public places to coincide with the ceremony.
The Central Electorate Seat meetings and youth meetings of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna are taking place at present under the Siudesa Siuraki Siuwasarak. The Electorate Seat meetings of Kundasala in Kandy took place yesterday under the patronage of Minister Kehelia Rambukmalla in Manikina town. State Minister T.B. Herath was present at the meeting. Kalavana Electorate Seat meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held yesterday. It has been organised under the patronage of State Minister Janaka Vakkumbura. Attanagala Electorate Seat meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna took place at Veyangoda Divisional Secretariat Hall. Parliamentarians Premanath Dolvatta and Upul Mahendra were present on the occasion. Women's meeting of the Jayala seat was held yesterday under the patronage of MP Kokila Harshani Gunawardana. The youth conference of the Kalutara seat took place yesterday. Minister Rohita Gunawardana and State Minister Susil Premajayantha attended the meeting. Kolonava Electorate Seat meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna took place yesterday under the patronage of seat organiser Sani Rohita Kodituakku. Kuliapiti Electorate Seat meeting held yesterday under the patronage of Ministers Johnston Fernando and C.B. Ratnayaka. Min area seat meeting took place and it was headed by MP Amarakirti Atukorala. Colombo West Electorate Seat meeting was held yesterday. It took place under the patronage of Chief Seat Organiser Milinda Rajapaksha. MP Jiva Edrimanna and Prime Minister's Coordinating Secretary Priyantha Ratnayaka were present on the occasion. Panduasnur Electorate Seat meeting was held under the patronage of Ministers Johnston Fernando and C.B. Ratnayaka. It has been organised by MP Gunapala Ratnasekara. State Ministers Priyanka Jayaratna and MP Samanpriya Herath attended the meeting. Women's Electoral Seat meeting of the Bulat Sinhala took place under the patronage of MP Rajika Vikramasinghe. It has been organised with the former Western Province Councillor Lalit Varnakumara. Galgamu under the patronage of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna took place this morning at the Divisional Secretariat Auditorium. MP Janaka Tissa Kutiarachi attended the meeting as chief guest. Meanwhile, a progress review meeting on the Southern Province electricity supply took place at Mathura District Secretariat yesterday under the patronage of Minister Dallas Allah Peruma. Special attention was paid at the discussion on electricity needs of the Southern Province, including the Mathura districts. There are 9 customer services centres in the Mathura district and they provide a satisfactory service to the public. Minister Dallas Allah Perumal said that steps will be taken to provide electricity supplies to new factories scheduled to be established at Hambantota, Mirijavilla, Mattala International Airport and Gandhar Fishery Harbour. Steps have been taken to reopen Dhamma schools that have been closed down. Sri Ratna Jyoti Dhamma School, which had been closed nearly 10 years at Sadharma Temple and Pinnagola, was reopened today under the patronage of Ministers Kehelia Rambukwala. A meeting of villagers representatives of Belyatta Electoral Division took place today at Belyatta Cooperative Herald. Ministers Ramal Rajapaksha attended the meeting as chief guest. A new bridge across Pothupitia River is being built connecting Pothupitia North and Pothupitia South villages in Ratnapura, Kalanavar Electoral Division. State Minister Janaka Vakkumbara launched the construction of the bridge, which is 28 metres long and 5.5 metres wide. 45 million rupees will be spent on the project. A consular office of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was opened yesterday at Kandy. Ministers Dinesh Gunawardena and State Minister Lohan Ratwatte were present at the occasion. The new consular office will be coordinated those who have gone abroad in Kandy district with the ministry. Consular office are in operation in Jaffna and Mathura district at present. Development of Nawalapitia Dekania Reservoir launched yesterday under the patronage of Ministers Mahindananda Alutgamage and State Minister Anuruddha Jayaratna. 75 acres of paddy are expected to be cultivated after developing the reservoir. All tanks and canals in the area will be developed. Renovations of Seruvilla Mangalas Vava commence under the patronage of MP Kapila Aptrukorala. 25 million rupees has been allocated for the renovations. The tanks will provide water for cultivations in Yala and Maha seasons for 400 families. Development of Hingugarakoda launched yesterday under the patronage of State Minister Rohan Ranasinghe. 17 million rupees has been allocated for the project. It will benefit 400 families. The tank will provide water to cultivate 200 acres of paddy.
We now bring you several local news reports in brief. A ceremony organized under the theme for humanity in recognition of honourable citizens took place today at the BMICH in Colombo. It was chaired by Venerable Bengamu Enalaka and Venerable Omare Kashapatheras. The ceremony was organized by the Social Service Foundation of Humanity, Women's Voice Empowerment and Community Development Foundation.
Today we are
a successful eardrum plant for both ears took place for the first time in a government hospital.
Who has been having hearing impairment since birth, and this is the first time in Sri Lanka in a government hospital we do the surgery on a same patient, both sides together.
The special feature about this surgery takes about 10 hours to perform, and during this time, particularly since it's a child, there are specific concerns such as the child becoming cold, the amount of fluids to be given, and again at the end of the surgery we need to make sure that the child is awake and normal at the end of the surgery, almost as soon as surgery is over. So because of that we take special precautions, particularly with the monitoring of this child, and to make sure that the child is safe. And also during this surgery the nerves are stimulated, so therefore we cannot use some of the drugs like muscle relaxants, and we have to make sure that the child does not struggle during the procedure as well. So for that we use a continuous infusion of an opiate to keep the child quiet. These are the special features which we adopt during this kind of surgery.
A medical team led by consultant surgeon of the hospital Sanjeevani Rupavahini performed the surgery. A 2-year-old and 4-month-old child with hearing impairments has undergone a surgery for more than 7 hours.
Just now we finished the second cochlear implant of this baby, and it is again 100% successful, and I take this opportunity to thank the whole team, including the nurses, the doctors and the anesthetic team, and I thank them all for helping me to do this surgery successfully, and I hope in another 3 weeks time, once this implant is activated, the child will resume his hearing and speaking ability, and I hope the child will lead a normal life in future.
The remains of late veteran actress Murli Samarathinha is scheduled to be brought tomorrow to Sudarshi Hall in Colombo 7 for the public to pay their last respects. Thereafter, the funeral will be held at the General Cemetery in Boralla. With that, it's time for a short break. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next.